Nemo isn't real. The theory argues that after the Barracuda attack, Marlin's entire journey
Every Pixar movie theory that might actually be explained in 21 minutes.
isn't real. The theory argues that after the Barracuda...
That theory, Nemo not real, it could have been true. Cause you don't think, I don't get it. It looked like Marlin was just swimming fine, nobody, right?
attack, Marlin's entire journey is his mind coping with grief, not an actual rescue mission. The film starts with tragedy.
Grief is coping the grief of people dying in your lifetime, in your lifespan, and you can't get over that death, or you can't actually accept that they're actually gone and you're not going to actually see them ever again.
And that surviving egg becomes Nemo, whose name literally means nobody in Latin. Supporters say that's not coincidence. Marlin's obsessive protection, paranoia, and guilt fit the stages of grief. Denial in creating Nemo, anger at losing him, bargaining through the journey, depression in his despair, and...
At first, when I first started watching Nemo, I thought Marlin had one surviving egg and then lost all the other, plus her, his wife, killed that Barracuda fish. But after hearing this theory, now you're making real sense about Marlin's grief.
Acceptance when he finally lets Nemo go. The story's focus stays on Marlin's emotions more than Nemo's actions, as if the adventure happens inside Marlin's head.
Really
when he allows Nemo independence at the end, it represents healing, not a reunion. So the theory sees Nemo as Marlin's imagined child, his way of surviving the loss of everyone he loved. By the way, if you guys like movie content like this, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Edna
that Nemo not real. It could happen, could not, but the theory did seem true.
Really gave Syndrome a...
So you tell me Edna get... Wait a minute. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little about right there.
Including one yanked into a jet turbine. So why did Syndrome end up with one? The theory claims Edna, knowing exactly how dangerous capes are, designed his suit with that flaw on purpose. She'd seen heroes die from this exact...
So, I'm guessing why. Why you design the same type of protocol cape that could kill anybody wearing that? You didn't have to design a cape, or you could design something different that wouldn't kill him.
So giving a known villain that design feels way too precise to be an accident. Syndrome's dramatic end. Pulled into a jet turbine by the very cape she told everyone never to wear. Fans believe she added the cape deliberately, using her legendary design skills to slip in a fatal flaw. Given her deep connections in the superworld and her pride in tailoring perfection, this twist turns her into a stealthy genius who protects heroes not with powers, but precision. Sid becomes a hero. The theory starts with him being the toy-torturing neighbor kid.
Out of all this theory, I don't think Sid is a hero. Like, that could not be a theory. You telling me someone who tortured toys for the fun of him, and you tell me...
Toy Story, famous for that skull shirt and bad attitude, but after his toys come to life and freak him out, something clearly changes. Fast forward to Toy Story 3, and there's a garbage man in the same skull shirt, rocking the same wild hair and goggles. Fans say that's Sid, all grown up. But here... Instead of seeing this as a punishment, the theory claims Sid took the job on purpose. Garbage men get access to loads of discarded stuff, especially old toys. If Sid knows toys are alive, then working trash routes gives him the chance to find and rescue the ones other people throw away.
That could actually be true. It could be true, could be real. That actually makes sense. It do actually make sense.
The Cars movies, yet everything around the cars was clearly built for them. Roads, signage, windows, even door handles. The vehicles still have mirrors and human-shaped cabins, which wouldn't exist if the world had always belonged to cars. RVs and campers still roam around too, designed to house people, but there's no one inside. Pixar's own creative director floated the idea that cars may have absorbed the personalities of their last drivers, or decided...
What? So you tell me that the last person that drive any of these vehicles were died, not were, but dead, and they got fused in with the car that they last drive, and that's who they are? Is this something I'm missing in this theory?
humans were unnecessary and got rid of them. Supporters note that the films offer no clues about how cars reproduce or evolved, and theories place cars deep in the Pixar timeline long after humanity's been wiped out or replaced. So the factual pieces line up. Human infrastructure, vehicle designs made for passengers, the eerie emptiness of the world.
And a crazy part about it, these cars live like they're actually human. Living like human and doing human things. Just like what a human would definitely do in the real world. So, you can say, dang. So, you're saying human is fused in with the car. You probably can say that. Probably not. And everybody from Earth are actually living on a spaceship doing just nothing. Like, all they doing is sitting there, no workout. Not like they just sit, eat, watch TV, and get fatter and fatter on that ship.
Which fans say means they weren't solving the trash. Argues that by endlessly stacking waste instead of eliminating it, the WALL-E robots actually sped up the planet's collapse. Since the film shows Earth's uninhabitability right after their cleanup mission, the robots might have turned a crisis into a full-blown apocalypse. Onward is Andy's imagination. The theory suggests the entire quest with Ian and Barley is just one of Andy's fantasy stories, built from his toy-driven world in Toy Story. Onward's land is full of magic.
These theories don't make any sense. Now, the Nemo theory, that makes sense. But the one theory I can't put a finger on is the Sid theory. That one, I can't even tell if it's true or not.
That's fading away, and that idea fits right into how a kid might mix up fantasy and reality during play. Andy's dad is never shown in Toy Story, and Onward's whole plot is about...
ain't that never shown? Like, that one thing I always was thinking when I watched Toy Story is, where Andy and his sister dad? Like, how the mom show up in all three of the Toy Story, except for the last one. And we don't get no trace of the dad or where the dad is in the whole Toy Story franchise.
Two boys trying to see their dad again. So fans link that emotional core to Andy processing his own situation. Onward has zero human characters besides the father, which makes the theory even stronger, like it's just part of a pretend universe from a child's point of view. There are also Easter eggs from other Pixar films scattered in the background, which the timeline theory uses to place Onward far in the future. That makes it the perfect mashup of magic and tech, a world Andy could have easily dreamed up using his toys and imagination. Wood is magic. This theory claims that wood is the actual power source behind time portals and dimensional travel. In Brave, the witch's door...
You're not wrong. Because if you look at Monster Inc., they do got a bunch of wooden doors, so you're not wrong about wood being like the pronoun connection of most of the theories we heard about.
With magic, and it's carved entirely from wood. Her hut's full of wood.
It helped them disappear to different time world or timeline, so most of them could have been connected.
The Pixar timeline places Brave and Onward in the early magical eras before machines took over, suggesting magic faded when the world moved past wood. So the theory ties it all together. Wooden doors, wooden tools, ancient carving, every major portal in Pixar starts with a tree. Bing Bong was a monster. The theory says Riley's imaginary friend is a monster from Monsters, Inc., who used the doors to visit her when she was little. Bing Bong's weird shape, part cat, part elephant, part dolphin, is exactly the kind of bizarre combo monsters have. He makes her laugh, collects memories, and vanishes when she gets older, which matches how monsters stop visiting kids who age out of the Laugh program. In Inside Out, he disappears in the...
You can't lie. Once kids get I would say about 13 and older, once you hit that first teen, like first going into teenage...
memory dump, but fans argue that's just Riley forgetting the visits, not Bing Bong dying. Monsters, Inc. already showed how monsters enter kids' rooms to harvest energy, so the link between them is right there. The shared Pixar universe theory lets characters cross films, and Bing Bong fits perfectly as a monster who once made Riley laugh and then returned home when she grew up. Abby and Boo are the same person. This theory connects Boo from Monsters, Inc. to Abbey Park and Turning Red, using small but specific details. Boo is a toddler obsessed with soft things and wears pink and purple. Abby also wears pink and purple, has bangs, rocks floral overalls, and completely melts over May's red panda.
But Abby pink and purple is like, isn't... No, they wear the same color clothes. but
fluff. Boo's bedroom door has flower patterns, and Abby's entire look matches that exact vibe. Fans point to this as more than just coincidence. Boo clung to Sully like he was a giant teddy bear, and Abby hugs that red panda like it's a long-lost cousin. The Pixar theory timeline suggests Boo could have grown up and crossed into a different part of the shared universe, popping up again in the turning.
So you tell me Boo traveled to the first timeline that we heard, and now traveling right back to the second? So you tell me she skipped from Brave to turn red now? What next? Boo gonna skip to a different timeline again?
Red. If that's true, Abby might just be the grown-up version of Boo. Still loud, still obsessed with fluffy creatures, and still rocking the flowers. Randall is Andy's monster. The theory kicks off with the cloud pattern wallpaper in Andy's bedroom. It's one of the most iconic visuals in Toy Story. In Monsters, Inc., there's a scene where Randall trains his stealth skills in a room that has the exact same cloud wallpaper. Supporters say that's no random design choice. It's a direct clue. The shared Pixar universe theory...
There's no way that could have been a random choice. Or it probably couldn't. They probably seen that
already links Toy Story and Monsters, Inc., making crossover like this completely possible. Randall's role as a scarer would have placed him in real kids' rooms, and if he trained using Andy's, that
and try to go further into like the scare world
implies he was assigned to him. Andy's closet door in Toy Story, with its striped white design, matches the kind used in Monsters, Inc. training scenes, adding another layer of connection. The idea is that Andy, like other children, had a monster visiting through his closet, and the facts point to Randall as that. Before turning full villain, Randall might have been scaring Andy nightly, using his stealth and invisibility to collect screams in the very room Toy Story fans know so well. Carl's journey.
So Randall probably did use his little disappearing magic, and he probably did scare Andy a lot. Alright? So what I'm thinking is Randall probably used Andy to boost his thing and give more boost, but he wouldn't like actually getting it, cause he did? Bro, he probably already been the top scarer before Sully, and already been up there a long time ago before Sully even had a chance to get up there.
To the afterlife. The theory starts with the emotional montage of Carl's life with Ellie, their love, heartbreak, and her death. After losing her, Carl becomes isolated, clinging to their home filled with memory.
And I think Carl probably died, because yes, he did have that little scout in the bird and the dog, but that probably didn't help him enough after losing the one he loved.
Supporters note that shortly after Ellie's funeral, Carl falls asleep in his chair, and the next major event is the house lifting off the ground, carried by balloons. That ascent is interpreted as his soul rising, not just his house. His journey to Paradise Falls then becomes a metaphor for passing.
This whole time, we see up and not just going to Niagara. No, that is his soul going through an afterlife. His soul going through it.
Russell, trying to earn his final badge by helping Carl, fits the role of a guardian guiding a soul to peace. The house, full of Carl's life, is eventually let go, symbolizing release from earthly ties. Charles Muntz is seen as a fallen figure, tempting Carl with bitterness and obsession. The facts align: Carl's loss, his sudden flight upward, the spiritual feel of Paradise Falls, and his final moment of peace. The theory says he died grieving, and everything after is him learning to let go and join Ellie on the other side. Pizza Planet Time Machine. The theory says
that theory making me actually think that was really powerful. So that was dang. We definitely wasn't really paying attention to most of the shows, like actually deep diving.
The truck first shows up in Toy Story as a delivery vehicle with a rocket on top and a RES1536 license plate, but it keeps popping up in films set in totally different time periods. In Brave, it's carved from wood in the witch's medieval hut. In WALL-E, it's rusting away in a future Earth long after humanity is gone. Despite centuries and environments, the truck's look never changes.
Yo, if you look at it, you can tell it's a human car and cars. Then it pop up in Toy Story 3, then it pop up really, you can't tell right there, but right there in Cars 2, then it right there in Toy Story 2, Buzz to Life right there, Toy Story 1, I can't remember what that is, Walrus right there, wait, right there in 2, you can't really tell, no, so it could, it's definitely a time traveling vehicle. See, I should pick that up long time ago.
It even shows up in abstract places like dream sequences in Inside Out. Supporters use these facts to argue that the truck moves through them. No matter the century, the style, or the setting, the Pizza Planet truck rolls in, unchanged, like it's not bound by time. Andy's mom was Jesse's owner. The theory starts with Jesse's flashback in Toy Story 2, where her
we know that Jessie got left in the purse somewhere, and I think she got replaced or something. I don't know. But could a mom have been Jesse's owner? Right? Would any mom the owner of Jessie?
Original owner, Emily, wears a red cowgirl hat with a white lace band. That hat matches the one Andy wears in Toy Story. Same color, same shape, but Andy's is missing the lace, and there's even a faded mark where it used to be. Supporters say that detail connects the hats, implying it was passed down. Emily's bedroom in the flashback has vintage decor, record player, older posters, suggesting her childhood happened years before Andy's. That timeline fits if Emily grew up and became Andy's mom. Jesse's heartbreak over being forgotten echoes the Toy Story theme of kids growing up and toys being left behind. Andy's deep connection to Woody parallels what Emily had with Jesse, since the films never give Andy's mom a full back.
That's crazy, because if you look at Jesse, cowgirl, Woody, cowboy, right? And you look at both your timeline, they both similar start off as cowboys and girls, right? So now it makes me think Amon could have been that little kid, and throughout the whole Toy Story franchise, nobody mentioned that Amon
story and only refer to her as Mrs. Davis. Fans use that narrative gap to tie it all together. Jesse belonged to Emily. Emily's hat ends up with Andy. The theory says that's no coincidence. It's a generational hand-me-down from mother to son. Syndrome invented the AI in cars. The theory links his tech genius in The Incredibles to the rise of sentient vehicles in cars. Syndrome built autonomous robots, advanced suits, and weapons powered by zero-point energy, far beyond the tech of his time. Fans point out that The Incredibles is set decades before Cars in the shared Pixar timeline, meaning his
drop down a comment and tell me, when did Incredible actually air? Like, did they air before Cars or after Cars?
Inventions could have sparked a wave of AI development. The Cars films show vehicles with full personalities, social systems, and no visible humans, just machines living like people. Supporters argue that this is the long-term result of machines gaining self-awareness, something Syndrome already proved was possible. His creations operated independently and made decisions, just like the Cars.
It's not wrong. His creations do operate independent. Right?
Since Pixar never shows how cars became sentient, the theory fills that gap by crediting Syndrome's early breakthroughs. His drive to replace superheroes with tech could have accidentally laid the foundation for a future where machines no longer need people at all. The Wall-E and Bugs Life connection. In Wall-E, the robot discovers a single green sprout growing in a boot, first sign of life on a dead Earth. By the end, that plant is placed into the soil, and the credits show it growing into a full tree while humans start to repopulate and rebuild. In A Bug's Life, a massive tree stands alone as the central hub for the insect world. Supporters point out that
is that tree the same tree that we see in Wall-E? So, if that tree is the same tree from Wall-E, that means the Bug's Life definitely has some type of connection with Wall-E. And if it don't, then explain it.
Pixar theory timeline places A Bug's Life long after Wall-E, in a future where nature is recovered and humans are gone. The tree
we don't see nothing but trash and broken down equipment, phone, TV, anything, but we see robots. So you can tell got some type of connection and some type of technology going through each other.
First to return, since the
I don't realize in memory, but I have seen Soul once. But that's it, I only saw like one time.
Finally sparks her interest. At the end, she drops into life, but her exact human identity is never revealed. That's where fans jump in. Some point out that in Soul, 22 Faces West.
So, I don't know what the meaning of Soul is, but you're telling me her human identity never been revealed?
Toward China just before entering Earth.
Staring together because what people are saying and seeing. So you're saying up and turn red is connected with Soul. Some way, somehow.
Both Russell and May show traits of someone seeing Earth with fresh perspective. And both characters' and background clues, the theory leaves the door open that either of them could be her human form. Edna Mode was inspired by Randall's that can turn invisible, an advanced feature that syncs perfectly with Violet's powers. The Disney Wiki confirms the suit material itself vanishes with her, which means Edna mastered tech that responds to invisibility. Over in Monsters, Inc., Randall Boggs is defined by his ability to disappear at will. He adapts his body to blend in, even ditching.
And yeah, that's it. That's all I had to say.
His glasses so he won't be seen. Supporters of the theory say Randall's stealth ability could have influenced Edna, especially within the shared Pixar incorporate invisibility into superhero fashion. While that part's speculative, the factual link is strong. Randall uses invisibility naturally, Edna develops it artificially. Both are obsessed with perfection. Randall in scare tactics, Edna in design. The theory uses these facts to connect Randall's biological ability with Edna's technological breakthrough, hinting that the tech behind Violet's suit didn't come from nowhere. It may have been inspired by a certain purple, slippery monster from another timeline. A Bug's Life and Toy Story take place at the same time. Supporters point out that A Bug's Life takes place under a trailer, surrounded by trash, clearly part of a human-built area. Toy Story happens in a suburban neighborhood filled with homes, yards, and streets, which lines up perfectly with that kind of environment. In fact, the ant colony's city could easily sit in the backyard of Andy's neighborhood. Pixar's shared universe theory back.
So, yeah, the Bug's Life could actually start off in the backyard Andy house, or probably somewhere in the front of Andy house where Andy probably didn't notice. Because if you look at the Pixar theory video, bro, it like you see
placing both films in the same general time frame. There are also known cross-film references and Easter eggs that connect the two worlds, even if they're not sharing scenes. Because bugs and toys occupy different physical scales, the idea is that the stories could unfold simultaneously without the characters ever crossing paths. The timeline supports overlapping eras, and the trailer shown in A Bug's Life matches human structures that appear across Toy Story. Using these details, human-adjacent settings, matching environments, shared visuals, and compatible time frames, fans argue the two films are happening side by side in the same town, the Emma Jean theory. Supporters start with a postcard in Up addressed to Carl and Ellie Fredrickson from someone named Emma Jean, a character who's never introduced but whose name appears clearly. That exact name shows up again in Toy Story 3 materials, on a background object in storage. Emma Jean isn't listed as a character in either film, yet the name recurs, making it stand out.
So if the name recurs in different movies and shows, then why put it there if there's no like actual connection? But if there is actually a connection to it, then why the name?
Pete Docter, director of Up, once commented that Emma Jean was Carl's love interest before Ellie, adding a deeper backstory that never made it on screen. Fans use these facts to suggest Emma Jean is a hidden thread across Pixar films, possibly a recurring character or figure behind the scenes of multiple stories. Since Pixar loves planting Easter eggs and weaving subtle links across its universe, the repeat appearance of her name, without a face, feels intentional. With just a postcard and a comment from Docter, Emma Jean goes from forgotten side note to secret connector in the Pixar multiverse, possibly hinting at untold relationships or generational ties hidden in plain sight. By and large is an evil corporation. The theory uses straight-up facts from Wally's World to paint.
What by and large? I thought we here for the Pixar theory, but now you tell me by and large gotta be some way connected with Wally. How many times does we gotta keep on connecting Wally to so many different theories?
BNL as a mega conglomerate that swallowed entire industries. By 2057, they owned everything from government systems to power grids, hospitals, and even space programs. In WALL-E, their logo is slapped on every screen, every uniform, every ship. They caused the trash crisis with unchecked consumerism. The theory says every Pixar film forms part of one massive timeline, charting the rise and collapse of civilization. Early film...
Civilization could have been like
Then come modern era stories like Toy Story, where toys are alive but humans still run the world. Later, the balance shifts. Machines gain power, like in The Incredibles and Cars, where humans are absent or replaced. Finally, WALL-E reveals Earth as a trashed...
So other theory.
Abandoned by humans, overrun by garbage, with only robots left. That's not metaphor. It's the actual setting of the film. The Pizza Planet truck and other recurring Easter eggs link the films together. Analysts use this steady pattern from enchanted forest to dead earth to argue that Pixar's stories quietly tell a unified saga of downfall. Magic fades, tech takes over, humanity collapses, and the world ends up ruled by evolved animals and machines. It's a slow apocalypse told in reverse. Fun stories on the surface, existential ruin underneath. Allanol is actually by and large. In Cars 2, Allanol is introduced as a clean fuel alternative created by Miles Axelrod, but it's revealed to be a setup, an engineered fuel designed to explode under specific conditions. According to the Pixar wiki, the name Allanol is a play on all in all, just like by and large plays on by and large, suggesting a naming pattern linked by corporate branding. In Cars 3, by and large is shown to still exist, now sponsoring a major racetrack called BNL Raceway, which proves the corporation operates within the Cars universe. The shared Pixar timeline places Cars in a far future post-human era, meaning BNL's involvement would fit. Supporters argue that all in
BNL could actually fit. Because Allanol supposed to be like a clean fuel oil thing. Then by and large could actually fit in there.
All manufacturing crises. The fake green energy scheme mirrors BNL's consumer manipulation in WALL-E, further tying the two brands together with the branding clues, corporate behavior, and direct BNL appearance in Cars 3. The theory claims Allanol is just BNL in disguise, continuing its influence under a new name in a world now run by machines. Toy Story 3 is a metaphor for a World War II Germany. Supporters of this theory begin with Andy abandoning the toys as he leaves for college, which they interpret as a metaphor for populations being left behind during the rise of Nazi control. The toys are boxed up, loaded into a car trunk, and unknowingly delivered to Sunnyside Daycare, a stand-in for forced relocation. Once there, they're segregated by age, mistreated, and trapped. New arrivals like them are sent to the Caterpillar Room, where they face chaos and physical abuse. When Buzz proposes hiding in the attic, fans note the parallel to Jewish families hiding in secret spaces, like Anne Frank's. The climax sends the toys into a trash facility with a massive incinerator. Supporters point out this is symbolically aligned with crematoria imagery. Lotso, the bear who runs the daycare, is framed in fan theories as a stand-in for Hitler, manipulative, charming at first, and ultimately authoritarian.
Now I get it. I can see why you would say that Toy Story 3 is something similar to World War II. So, I can't lie. You got me right there. 'Cause I was going to say something stupid until I had really watched and see what you trying.
The toys' near destruction and final rescue by the Pizza Planet Claw, operated by the aliens, represents external salvation and the idea of post-war refuge, especially when they are rehomed with Bonnie. These facts are used to frame the film as a metaphor for survival, loss, and rescue during the Holocaust. If you enjoyed this, I post movie content a lot here. I would
crazy theory and crazy things that we never even expect that could actually connect together. Wrap it up for this one. If you find this helpful, hit that subscribe circle right in the top corner so you don't miss next week's drop. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, I put together a full playlist right here. Otherwise, you do think you love this special video.
Misunderstood, so misunderstood. My temper is bad, my mission is good. I'll never be labeled as good.